everyone, Andrew Praber here with Great Expectations Realty, and it is Monday night, which means it's time for What's Up Ocala. Y'all, I cannot even express to you how crazy my house has gotten the last couple weeks. Like, it was a little bit crazy last week. This week, it is full bore insanity, like loony bin over here, like you wouldn't believe. So I told you a little bit, I think last week, about how we are hosting an EF student over here, which is basically there's like 110 kids from Spain, France, and Italy here in Ocala. Some of them thought they were going to Miami, and I'm very sorry because Ocala is not Miami. Bless their hearts. But no, they've actually had a lot of fun. They've done a lot of stuff here. Every day they go and see something new, do something new. Something that they actually all seemed to agree on was going roller skating was really fun. They had absolutely no idea what in the world. And I'm like, I thought that was a like around the world kind of thing, but apparently not. And we have a lot of roller rinks here. So, kind of bizarre. What they think of is like really cool. Also, macaroni and cheese was a huge hit. Apparently all the host families were all like, I don't know, have you been asked for mac and cheese? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's the big deal with mac and cheese, but apparently it's a big thing. So that and Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, which is just not my idea of a good breakfast, but it's like a huge hit with the kids. So you know what, less work. I'm not going to stress on their metabolism and their health because they're only here for like 2.5 weeks. So I'm pretty sure they won't die living on Cinnamon Toast Crunch and mac and cheese. I don't know. Not our normal food at all. I mean, I love food, but not that. That's not really food. Apparently, one family went up to Gainesville and there's a Krispy Kreme up there, and two French girls literally fell in love with donuts. Okay, now they are from the world capital of pastries. I mean, you can get French pastries over there, and they fell in love with Krispy Kreme donuts. So I don't know. Apparently, it's world renowned at this point. So anyway, but yeah, they eat a whole. I can't eat a lot of Krispy Kreme. I can't eat a lot of donuts. That's just whew, the sugar for these kids are like. Whew. Anyway. So, we have been hosting, Alex. He's just such a sweetheart. He's hilarious. Sometimes he doesn't mean to be, but he really is. So we've been hosting him. He's over here. He has one of his friends over here, which the rule that I set down is, yeah, you can have anybody you want come over, but I have to talk to the host parents first, because I don't let minors in my car without getting permission, because that's how you go to jail in the United States. So I talked to the host family, and they were fine with him having a little buddy come over. So he's having dinner. So I'm like, well, fine. You're having a friend over, you guys are cooking. So as soon as I get off here, I'm going to show them how to start a fire in the backyard, because we have a fire pit. And so I'm going to stand there with a hose primarily. That's going to be my job. And then of course my daughter is going to help them, because apparently these boys from Spain don't know how to start a fire. I don't know that their parents are going to appreciate me showing them how to start a fire, but a campfire is like, I mean, you have to know how to start a campfire. I mean, that's like basic survival. Hello? Anyway, so we're going to start a fire here in a bit, and they're going to cook hot dogs on a fire. They'll probably end up eating mac and cheese. I don't know. I have no idea, but that's the plans for tonight. But it has been absolutely crazy. Last week I had, of course, I'm taking him to his classes. You know, he has English classes in the morning, and I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning and leave the house by 7 with him to get him to these classes or whatever. And then I was going to City of Denellen City Council meeting, and then 2 nights later I went to a special meeting. I don't know if you guys have been watching my TikTok or Facebook, but yeah, apparently a few people in Denellen have some short-term rentals over on the Rainbow River, which is a beautiful river. It is a spring. It is crystal clear, even 15 feet deep. Absolutely beautiful. A lot of people go kayaking and tubing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the people that live along the river think that they own the river, which is not possible, but they definitely feel like they've been there forever, so it's theirs, and they're a little snobby, but that's okay. Not everybody, but some of them. Well, unfortunately, there's a couple people that have been renting out their houses through like Airbnb or VRBO or something like that. And a whole bunch of parties have been taking place on the river and they're just over it. So instead of creating an HOA with these people that live on the river, they probably don't get along with their neighbors enough to do it. But anyway, instead of doing that, they decided to go skip that step and go straight to City Hall. And they have proposed an ordinance to get rid of all short-term rentals. Okay, now that's illegal. As the concerned citizen that proposed the ordinance said, wink, wink, that would be illegal, was his, yeah, but what they're going to do is make it so difficult, if not impossible, to have a short-term rental that it might as well be illegal. So they're like seriously wanting to crack down. Well, that's all well and good, but there's a lot of older derelict buildings in Denellen that really do need to be purchased and rehabbed. And somebody that's purchasing a house to live in might not have the means to do that necessarily. So there are, it's actually good to have investors come in and spend a lot of money fixing up these older houses, as opposed to, for about the same amount of money, buying a brand new house just outside of Denellen and doing whatever they want with it and having, basically, a builder's warranty on it. So, but there's a lot of charm on the houses that are older, maybe 1920s, 1950s, something like that. These older homes, and rehabbing them, and they're, because of the Rainbow River and other things, it is kind of a tourist spot. It's not a huge tourist spot anymore, but it used to be back in the day. But a lot of people do come to Denellen, or want to come to Denellen for a short period of time. It's nice to stay in, maybe to get outside of Ocala, because Ocala is a lot busier, a little more traffic, a lot more things to do. But, Denellen's a little bit laid back, and it has a beautiful historic district and stuff. So it has its charms. So it does have some tourism. Not a huge tourist spot, though. It's not like it's Disney. So, and then for the most part, there's not a whole heck of a lot of money in Denellen. So to have investors come in and actually spend their money in Denellen would be a good thing. For me personally, I did speak at the county planning, or excuse me, the city planning. It's not the county. County wants no part of this. The city planning meeting, because for me, I own a real estate brokerage. I'm already licensed with the state. We're licensed for short-term rentals. In fact, I have a license that allows for up to 75 short-term rentals, and we only have like 4. So, I mean, if anything, it's going to make it difficult for other people, and they're going to be like, look, I want the short-term rental, but I don't want the nonsense. Here, you manage it. So, honestly, it's probably going to give me business more so than anything. So I can't really say, it's a terrible idea. But I did take offense to some of the verbiage that was in the ordinance. They essentially called anybody that came down here for under 6 months a transient, which is also a bum, a hobo, a slacker. These are the words that are used with it. So they were trying to use it as a legal term, but because of the wording around it, it just really just kind of like, ugh, it just kind of made it sound like people that owned their home were better than. And that's just not the case. We have a lot of people that are moving down to Florida and, they've sold their home. They have 3 kids, 2 dogs, whatever, and they're already started their job down here, or jobs in this case. And their house that they have been working, to build, they didn't get the windows in time, or they didn't get the appliances in, or whatever. For some unknown reason, they can't move into the house, and they're stuck for a couple months to not live there. So maybe they wanted to get like brand new furnishings for the house anyway. Are they really going to rent a long-term rental, which would be 6 months and a day, if they can even find it? Because again, we have a rental shortage here. But are they really going to live in a hotel for an indefinite amount of months with, kids starting school? And how are the kids going to start school if they don't have an address? I mean, it's it doesn't work. There's short-term rentals for a reason. They want to have a home, but not necessarily have, to pay the utilities and not necessarily have to get furnishings for it and not necessarily have a 1-year lease because they don't need it for a 1 year. So there's a lot of situations like that right now. In fact, that's one of the number one reasons people were asking us for short-term rentals and to manage short-term rentals. It wasn't for the owners. The owners couldn't care less. It was because we had so many customers that were purchasing houses that couldn't move in yet because of, the lumber shortage and the window shortage and the construction worker shortage and all these shortages. It had delayed things. So, and we didn't think it was right to put them in a long-term rental knowing that they were going to break that lease or they just didn't need it for that long or whatever. So, we went ahead and said, we approached the owners ourselves and said, there's a need for this. Could you please consider doing this? And they were like, yeah, as long as you guys deal with all the paperwork and the nonsense, knock yourselves out. And it was more lucrative for them. So we're going to, continue doing that. Now, do I really want 75 short-term rentals? No, they are 10 times the work, a long-term rental, 10 times. But because it is lucrative for the owners and because it is a service that is needed for our customers, we are doing it. I don't know that we're going to continue to do it for years and years. This is just where we're at right now. We're offering this service. We will be doing a few more, but no way are we doing 75. No. But yeah, that's what they're wanting to do is they want us to be registered and licensed and all of that fun stuff. They want to make sure that we're paying the taxes and all that. We are already in there. They can check all the records they want. So this isn't really applying to us. This is applying to more the individuals that maybe have, a room they want to rent out in their own home. I personally don't think that you should tell somebody what they can do inside their own home as far as renting out rooms. I don't think it's your business as any kind of government entity. If I decide to rent out a room to somebody, it's none ya, okay? It's too much. It's just too much. So that's my take on it. So I did go and I did speak. I did explain that it has nothing to do with me or my business. It's not going to affect me and my business unless, it's to give me more. But I didn't like what they were saying. I didn't like the attitude behind it. I didn't like reading between the lines. I didn't like the elitist attitude. There was just a lot of it that I was just like, this is, y'all need to go back to the drawing board. I just don't think this is what you're wanting to portray to the outside world. Also, I think it's going to be very detrimental to Denellen, as there are other counties and cities that have come in and said, we don't want short-term rentals by and large, and they're, cracking down on it and stuff like that. Okay, they've made that choice, but they're probably in a different, tax bracket. There's just a lot more that Denellen, I think, needs to focus on before it gets to this. Maybe, cracking down on the code enforcement they already have. Like getting some blue tarps off of roofs that have been there for forever and a day. Getting rid of, the junkyard that is their front yard. There's some other stuff that they really could be working on that are already enacted that they're really not enforcing. So instead of working on that stuff, they're working on a whole nother code that they're not going to enforce. It just doesn't make sense to me. So for a lot of reasons. But that was also exhausting. It was exhausting. So yeah, so I did speak at the county planning. I actually spoke twice, once in the beginning and then once in the afterwards. I did speak my mind. It's on YouTube, actually. So if you want to go on there and see this, it was craziness. The stuff that people said and everything. You could see my little 3-minute speech. I worked for 2 days on that 3-minute speech. And then I got up afterwards and spoke on the fly. It's crazy. But yeah, you guys can see that. Just look at, I think it was called a special meeting for the City of Denellen Planning and Zoning. And they're looking at this ordinance. And if you look at the wording of the ordinance, which you can also find online, you'll see what I mean about just no. Just no. Yeah, no. So I don't think it's what they really are trying to portray as a city. And I think they got bigger fish to fry. And if anybody really is that worried about it, just start an HOA. It is super, super easy to start an HOA. You get a quorum, you get the rules for your neighborhood, you go file it. It's not complicated. If you need an attorney to do it, I'm sure there's HOA attorneys out there that would love to do that for you. And all your neighbors can chip in and make your HOA. There was a few Karens that spoke, and I'm pretty sure that they are definitely president of the HOA material. Okay. 100%. They can start the HOA, they can write the rules for the HOA, and they can be president of their HOA. But this isn't really a city problem. This is more of a neighborhood issue. So, kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know. Share your thoughts. Feel free. Don't attack me. I gotta find out. I gotta go back and watch the last few minutes so my daughter, it was her first day back to school and she was so tired and so exhausted. She had been up since 6:30 in the morning that day. And then she didn't eat lunch, so she was starving hungry. And then we're at this, she had to come with me. I didn't have time from picking her up to school to going to the city planning. So she went with me. So she's sitting there through the whole thing right there with me. And she was just fascinated by the whole mess. She was just like, oh, he didn't say that. Oh, I can't believe she said that. Oh my goodness. 14-year-old got schooled on city planning and zoning. And, but what was weird is I finally okay, it's 8:30 at night. I have to go. I have got to feed this kid. I have other responsibilities. And I have to remember them. So I went ahead and left. I thought it was winding down. But apparently not. One of the city representatives on the planning and zoning commission actually came down off of her seat and stood up and said, okay, I'm going to take that hat off and I'm going to speak as a regular citizen. And then she proceeded to tell how biased she was against short-term rentals because of issues she's had in her neighborhood. And how and then she proceeded to say some stuff against me personally. I don't know this woman from Adam. There was 100 people that spoke. Why are you picking on me? So yeah, she definitely, she took offense to, me calling out the transient name. I just don't think that you should call a snowbird a transient. I just don't think you should. I think there's other words that could be used that don't have derogatory annotations to them. Anyway, that being said, so I'm and plus she waited till I left. If you're gonna say something to me, say it to my face or while I'm at least still in the building. No, she waited until I had to take my child home and then decided to come off. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's just no. So it got some crazy drama going on there. The drama will continue. I'm again just basically watching the whole thing happen and I'm just kind of going, why is this even a thing? It really shouldn't even be a thing. It should be an HOA thing, but whatever. Anyway, all right, let's get into, I was going to go ahead and talk about all of the townhouses and houses and all sorts of stuff that's coming in, but I think I'm going to do a whole separate video on that because there's a lot of subdivisions and townhomes coming to Ocala. And I think I need my map. You guys know my map, my big, huge, massive map. I think I'm going to use that so I can really show where these are coming. So I'm going to use, I guess some duct tape or something, maybe some painter's tape. My husband might not mind that. Or maybe just, somebody said to use an Expo marker, the whiteboard marker, and then that might not stick as much. So anyway, I have got to attack the map. So I'm going to have you guys check this out with me on the map. I'll do a whole nother video on that. And we will discuss Freedom Crossings Preserve from Lennar, Bell Chase, Ocala Hammock Preserve Townhomes. Oh my goodness. Liberty Village. That's just down the street from me. College Park Townhomes, Millwood, and it's the Enclave and the Meadows. Whisper Woods townhomes. That's over in Silver Spring Shores. Heath Preserve. Oh my goodness. There's so many. Those were mostly just the Lennar that are coming in. There's a lot. But yeah, lots of stuff coming in. All right. Let's talk about the market, because I know you guys enjoy listening to that. So Market Watch. We have this week, the last 7 days, 235 new listings. That's kind of odd because it's almost exactly the number we had last week. So not increasing, not decreasing, just is. 235. Price increases 58. Now that came down considerably. Price decreases 292. And I can absolutely promise you, my agents are seeing it because I keep hearing from them that it's slow. And I'm like, I know, I'm feeling it too. So we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown. I think honestly this week, a lot of it is because kids went back to school and that was a mayhem. So a lot of people were probably waiting to put their house on the market or waiting to purchase a home for those kids to get back to school. That is a huge endeavor, let me tell you, and I only got one. Back on the market, we had 78. That's a lot. That's a lot to come back on the market. My husband just walked in the room. I don't normally do these from home. I normally do them from the office, but with the EF student and absolute mayhem, here I be. So you're at my house with me. Welcome home. Sold, we had 231. Expired, we had 9. That's kind of quite a few actually. Pending, we had 266. So we actually had more houses sold than listed. So that's kind of interesting. We're still selling houses. Quite a few of them are coming back on the market though. That means the offer that they submitted and that was approved and they both parties made a contract, it didn't get to the closing table. The buyer either walked away or wasn't able to get it for whatever reason. And so the seller is now trying to get another buyer for their home. Kind of interesting. Okay, so 266 pending, temporarily off the market 17. Maybe they need to do some work, or maybe they've decided to just take it off because of family reasons or whatever, but it's temporarily off the market. So 4 withdrawn. They're like, you know what? I'm good. We're just going to do something else, or we'll just keep it. Don't care. 35 canceled. That's quite a few canceled. So yeah, there was 35 where the sellers are like, you know what? I don't need to sell that bad, or you're just not doing the job for me. I'm out. And so they went ahead and canceled those contracts with their listing agent. So kind of interesting, a little bit of mayhem going on. But houses are still being sold. Houses are still being purchased. So we will get through this next craziness that happens, I guess. All right, last bit, right on time. What is going on in Ocala? Oops, I'm on September. I need to go over to August. So anytime something comes up in Ocala, or that's coming up or whatever, or maybe it's an annual thing, it helps. I keep a little spreadsheet, and it's like, what it is, what day it is, what time it is, where it is, how you can get info about it. Normally it's a website, and how much does it cost? Because that's the important part for my husband. If I'm like, hey, I want to go do this, he's going like, and how much does it cost? And how much does it cost? So I love the free or nearly free options, just saying. All right. Speaking of that, we actually have an adult skate night. Speaking of roller skating with the EF students, we actually have an adult skate night coming to Skateaway South, which is over on 2008 East Silver Springs Boulevard. This is Tuesday, August 16th. So just a couple days. Actually, no, tomorrow. Tomorrow. And they're doing it again on the 30th. So if you can't make it tomorrow, make it for the 30th. It's only $8, and that includes your skate rental. I mean, seriously, how can you pass that up? If you bring your own roller skates, I don't know if you have your own, but if you bring your own roller skates, it's only $6. 18 and over to enter. So don't bring your kids. This is for the grown-ups. 21 and over to drink, obviously, but at the same time, they've got drinks there. But yeah, it's 8:30 to 10:30 at night. I think it would be awesome. I would love to like go and dress up. Somebody was telling me a while back that they want to do like full 80s gear with like the knee-high socks and everything, and just shorty shorts and all sorts of stuff. I think it would be fun. I think it would be a blast. Going like 70s or 80s motif and just have a blast. I think it would be fun. Anyway, so that is something to do. The third Thursday, so August 18th, there's the Sip and Shop event. I knew I was going to mess that up. The Sip and Shop event is hosted by Ocala Main Street and Marley May Market. It's basically a night of shopping and drinking in the heart of downtown Ocala. You can make it a purchase at select shops and that are, participating in the event, and show your receipt, and you enjoy 15% off for the rest of the night at the different locations. So anyway, go have fun. If you want to learn more about that, go to ocalamainstreet.org/events. We also have the date night at the Discovery Center. I love that. Okay, my husband, not as much. I love it because it's very active, very hands-on. I wasn't really sure what to expect when we went, but I am so glad we went. I got to hold a tarantula. I mean, it was by choice. It wasn't like, they just start, passing them or throwing at people. It was a lot of fun. It was really, really, really fun. They start off with a game, so you kind of loosen up. They have adult beverages. It was just a blast. I absolutely loved it. My husband is more of a dinner and a theater type, so I did give him the choice because there was 2 things happening on that night. This is August 19th, so it's this Friday coming up, and this is at the Discovery Center from 6:30 to 9 p.m. You do need to reserve a space ahead of time because they need to have enough refreshments for everyone. It's $30 per couple. Y'all, $15, and it includes beverages, and it includes snacky snacks and all sorts of stuff. So this one is featuring Spy Sciences. It's a different one every time. So you can get tickets for this amazing event by going online at mydiscoverycenter.org/events, or you can give them a call, 352-401-3900. And when they say the doors open at 6:30, they mean the doors open at 6:30. So it's 6:30 to 9 p.m. So expect to be there for a while because they have a lot of different stuff that they do. And you get to like be an adult in the kids' hands-on museum. It's so much fun. It is so fun. Cannot say enough for it. However, I'm not going to be there at that one because I gave my husband a choice of going to that or going to the Vagina Monologues, and he chose that one. I have no idea. I don't really know what it's about, but I have heard like I've heard the name before, but I have no idea what it's about, honestly. I don't really want to know. I would like to have a surprise. So I asked my husband which one he wanted to do, and he actually chose that one. So he's definitely more of a dinner and a theater kind of person, not movies. He really does prefer a theater or music, live music. Oh my goodness, he loves it. So we're going to go and do that. That starts at 7 p.m. It's at the Riley Arts Center, so it's actually really close to the Discovery Center. But if you want tickets, just go to RileyArtsCenter.com. This is an 18 and over show, just to let you know. Apparently they are very open in what they're talking about. So I don't know what is going to happen. I'm hoping that it's not, I don't know. I have no idea. So we'll see. Coming up on the 24th, like, I don't even know where to go with that. Coming up on the 24th, they have a Careers and Colleges Expo. It's so bizarre for me to go from one to the other, but here we be. All right. Careers and Colleges Expo. It's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and it's basically for students, parents of students. Basically, it's giving options of where to go to school, what career choices there are. I actually thought about setting up a booth, but I think I'm just gonna go to this one, and maybe I'll pass out some cards or something, but I don't know. It just, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I mean, let's be honest. Most kids in high school are not like, I can't wait to grow up to be a realtor. No, this is a second choice profession. Okay. This is not like, oh, a realtor, I can't wait. They don't do that. Okay. I know that enough. I personally did not want to be a realtor because I was like, I don't know. I've seen those in movies and stuff, and they wear like business suits all the time. And I don't want to wear a pantsuit for the rest of my life. And that's, I thought it was more like a Karen type personality for it. It's really not. You can be whoever you want to be and still be a realtor. I am not for everyone. Some people are like, you should be wearing a pantsuit with high heels. I am not that person. If that's what you're expecting, I apologize in advance. It's not me. I do have an agent that is always dressed to the nines and always in heels. I love her to pieces. She's the sweetest person. But that's not me. I'm like going to be like, let's go eat. Let's go talk about this. Oh my God. I'm just, it's different, but for somebody that wants that and they're turned off by me, that's okay. That is okay. We're probably not going to mesh. And I attract the people that I mesh with. And that's what's cool about real estate. If you're just yourself, you'll attract people that are like you and that you get along with and stuff and relate to you. So, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be the pantsuit lady. It is okay. So I did kind of want to share that. But again, this is normally something, I don't know of very many 18-year-olds that have ever come into my office. I could maybe count 2. And it's just, they're like, this is what I want to do with my life. And I'm like, okay, that's unexpected, but all right. Normally people that come in, they've already had a first career and now they're like, I think I can do that. Let's give it a go. So it's normally a secondary career. And the ones that really do well are the ones that have had a business of their own and they've never been an employee. So they don't know about punching a time clock because you really are self-employed. You really have to know how to push yourself. With it being like a little bit slower, I've asked quite a few of my agents and they're lately, and I'm like, they're like, oh, well, it's slow, so I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm like, whoa, taking a little bit of time off is good, but if you were your own employee, would you fire yourself? And it always stops them and they're like, yeah, this week I probably would. Okay, well then you maybe need to sit down, figure it out, and get back on track. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Anybody that wants to go or take their kid to the Careers and Colleges Expo, it is on the 24th. It's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's at CF, but there's going to be a lot of different, companies and colleges and stuff going to be there. It's at the Ewers Century Center, EWERS, just in case you're wondering how I pronounce that. If you want more information than what I can give you, go to cf.edu. The event is free. Okay. All right. I have to buy some tickets to the Riley Arts Center and I have to go make sure that these kids don't burn my house down. So I'm going to let you guys go for now. And I think next week we should be back at the office and a lot more professional because our dear Alex will be going back to Spain on Wednesday. So I think everything will calm down. But then again, it's real estate in Ocala. I mean, it's always different. It's always changing and stuff. So, and there are a lot of events coming up in September. A lot of events we're participating in coming into October. Once the burrs happen, I'm so excited. If it's September, October, November, December, it's my favorite part of the year. I absolutely love the burr months. Those are my favorite. So the weather is fantastic and there's just so much activity and so many things to do. And did I mention the weather is fantastic? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to enjoy those. Right now it is hot outside. So hopefully you are staying cool where you're at. Do some indoor activities, or get over to one of the pools or something, or one of the splash pads, whatever. And I will see you guys soon once it's cooler outside. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.